Hello and welcome to the very first episode of What Happened Here, a series of short historical videos. Many people think that if they don't see a monument on the landscape, that from a history point of view, nothing much happened. But that couldn't be further from the truth, because all the major events in history impacted every corner of the country. To begin with, we're here at Courtnacuddy Crossroads, and what better way to start than let's talk about the meaning of the name. On this crossroads, there are two versions of the name Courtnacuddy. Now, for many years, it was believed that Courtnacuddy, what we see on one sign, was the meaning of the place name, and it meant the place of St. Cuddy or St. Carthage. Now, the church in Courtnacuddy is dedicated to St. Carthage and Our Lady, but there's no documented evidence of Carthage ever having any connection here with Courtnacuddy. Carthage did travel throughout the southeast, but nothing links him specifically with this area, and it's not until about 1840 that we see anything with the use of McCuddy in the spelling. The modern version which we see, Courtnacuddy, is without the more correct origin and possibly far more interesting. The first recorded mention of Courtnacuddy is in 1560 in a book called the Lower Brannock, the Book of the O'Byrnes. The translation of Courtnacuddy is the mansion house of the evening meal. Now, in medieval Ireland, the practice of kosherring was common, and what it meant was that the local chieftain could demand from his tenants an evening meal, and this evening meal was called a cuddy, and the tenants would have to provide shelter and food for the chieftain and for all his cohort. And this evening meal could be asked for up to 4 times in the year. It's likely the actual name for Courtnacuddy, to give it its full title, should be Courtnacuddy Ihe, the court or mansion house of the evening meal. Now, this would place Courtnacuddy as an important site in medieval Ireland. In the poem A Cahir Eadvig Sean, there's documented evidence in the Book of the O'Byrnes of Eadvig Sean, chief of the O'Byrne clan of Glenmalure, saying that he would raid Courtnacuddy, but noting that he wouldn't do so until the night of the evening meal, presumably because the pickings would then be richer. So this places Courtnacuddy as a very important site in medieval Ireland. To add to the evidence, there are over 60,000 townslands documented in Ireland. Only 7 have the word cuddy in them, and only 1, Lisnacuddy, refers to the evening meal. Now, the system of kosherring was common in Ireland, so I'm sure there are many places that carried out this practice, but Courtnacuddy is one of the very few that gave its name to it.